Today is Sunday of Detroit Free Press Marathon weekend. Today is the marathon relay, the international half marathon, and also the Motor City US only half marathon. Right now I am outside of MGM Casino. This has a self-parking which is free that a lot of people take advantage of. Some people also go to Motor City, which is a little bit further away. I got here at about 5:50 a.m. and there was kind of a line going all the way back to the lodge. Last year I got here at 5 and I got on like the second floor and I was one of the first people. This is like the best place to park because it's a little bit outside of downtown, so you won't deal with all the road closures and everything like that. No worries, you can definitely stay here all day. I actually got very, very sick when I did the race here last year, and I had to leave my car here because I was too sick to drive home. And it was here about 36 hours, so like, you're okay. You'll be fine. It's free. It won't get towed. The walk, I believe, is about a mile or a mile and a half to gear check. I don't remember what it was from last year, but I got my Garmin on, so I'm doing it for you. If you have no idea where you're going, just follow hundreds of your new best friends that are going to be running with you this morning. That's the line of cars coming off the lodge. And here we got a whole bunch of people waiting to cross to get over to gear check and the start line. We are here at Campus Martius. This is where the whole post-race after party is going to be. They already got the music going this morning. A lot of runners are still hanging out, getting their last stuff out of their gear bags before they hand it over to gear check. Over here is what most people are interested in, which is the beer tent. This is also where the runner Reunite is, so if you have somebody running the race and you're a spectator, you can pick a location to meet them at. I believe that there's different letters that you can agree to meet next to, so you can find them easily after the race. And if you didn't get your picture in front of the map at the expo, they moved the truck here. There are plenty of porta potties before this race, during this race, and after this race. Here is gear check. Everyone was given a plastic bag, a packet pickup. There should be a little tab on your bib that you attach to your bag. Here is the runner Reunite. So we have W through Z, U through V, Q through R. It's all across the way too. So probably the easiest thing is, go by your first or last name. All right, next time we're back here, it will be light out and there will be a lot of runners who have finished. This is the main medical tent. This is where I ended up last year. They will take care of you nicely here. They are equipped to help with a couple things. I personally got an IV, and they also have a nursing mom station for the first time this year, which is really awesome. I'm so glad that they did that because that's just something that's always missing at races and different events. So this medical tent is pretty far from the finish. There is a little medical tent like right after the finish line where if you're really hurting, they will take you in a wheelchair over to the main medical tent here. And of course, if you are really hard up and you need to go to the hospital, that is an option and they will be able to get you there. That is something they offered to me, but fortunately I did not need it. A quick story, which I think is absolutely hilarious, and even at the time that I was so sick, I still kind of laughed about it, but I got like really violently ill last year, like gastrointestinally. I like vomited it all over the city. When the guy had me in the wheelchair, like wheeling me over from the little medical tent to the main one after I finished the race, he asked me when I vomited if I had seen any blood in my vomit, and I was like, dude, have you ever seen like a porta potty at the end of a marathon? Like, I don't know what was down there, I didn't want to see what was down there. It was terrible. I mean, you can imagine all of the bodily things that are down there, and there's just like trash and like, I don't even know. I would not have been able to distinguish if there had blood in my vomit, even if I looked really hard. So, I don't know. That's like almost my favorite story from last year. I just realized I met my physical therapist last year before she was my physical therapist, and I think she actually took the picture of me in the medical tent. Got the volunteers all ready to go, and we are going to head over to the start line. All right, 2 corrals, A through H. As you can see, there are plenty of porta potties. This street is just literally all porta potties. So you can hit up the porta potty at the gear check, and then you can walk a couple of blocks. And if your nerves get to you and you need to go pee again, you have plenty of options before you get into your corral. Corrals A through F are a mix of marathon and international half marathon runners. And then corrals G and H, which are the last 2 corrals, are only the international half marathon runners. This race provides pacers at regular intervals. The pacers are placed in corrals A through F. For some reason, and I never checked back around on this, all of the pacers that were like the slower pacers still all were in F as their last corral. I'm not totally sure why they did that, but I saw a little bit of a uproar about that on Facebook, so I'll see what I can find out about that. More porta potties, lots of porta potties, lots of lines for porta potties. It's almost 7 o'clock. People are trying to get their last little porta potty visit in. This is the end of Corral H. This is the last corral. This is only for half marathon runners. We are making our way up to corrals A and B. As you can see, there are no lines for these porta potties. So if you're in like the main corrals, like C, D, etc., like just walk up a little further to A and B, and like this is wide open, and there is definitely no way that back in those long lines you'd be going any faster than just coming up here real quick to use one of these that are free. As you can hear, the M&M is already playing. There's lots and lots of M&M songs before the race start here. 20 seconds. Oh my God, here we go. All right.
We're going all 1, 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our first timer, Shanna, way to go.
The announcer said that there's 36,000 registered runners this year.
You have the app? Yeah. Mine gave me a notification.
Here goes Corral B moving up. Wave number 2 for B is about to go off, and then C and D are starting to move up. This is still mostly people in C and a little bit of mix of D. And you got horses. It's really crowded down there, so it's really hard for me to get close to the start line, but I'm going to try another way. All right, so 2nd Street in Lafayette. So you go down 2nd Street. That is basically where the start line is, with the intersection of 4th. More M&M. I should have known when they were playing the M&M before that I should have hustled to the start line, because we always start with M&M in Detroit.
Final marathon swing.
The 6:30 Pacers just passed. look, I am very empathetic to the porta potty situation. When you cross the start line, let's say you got in your corral and then like all of a sudden you really need to go to the bathroom, there's like 3 or 4 porta potties like right there, okay? Like, I don't know, a couple hundred feet, not even. And like there's spectators using the porta potties, and there's a girl in line who is clearly running the race and like needs to just like go to the bathroom and keep going. And the people went in front of her, and I was like, girl's running the race, like please let her use the porta potty. Like you guys can hold it, like her clock is ticking. That was so rude, so rude.
2, 1. Oh yeah.
Of the international half marathon runners. It's starting to get light outside, and fortunately for these runners, it's easier to see the road. Fort Street and the whole Fort Street stretch towards the bridge is not a well-paved road, and there's lots of little potholes and little cracks and divots and things where it's easy to lose your footing or trip. So just something to be aware of, certainly if you're starting in an earlier corral where it's going to be dark out. And of course everybody's kind of sorting themselves out, getting out of the crowds, getting out of each other's way, sorting out their paces. Oh, and I just saw some pacers there, so there must be pacers in G and H, so they must have changed that, and the last pacers were not still in F, so that's good. I know a lot of people who weren't happy with that situation. It's 7:35 and everybody has crossed the start line. I'm gonna head over to the tunnel, which you come out of at about mile 8. So there's a lot of the faster runners who are already well on their way, probably in Canada right now, and will be coming out of the tunnel soon. Just because what I've been through with my dystonia, I notice anybody now that has any sort of like difference in their gait or mobility issue, and I see them still doing races, and I'm like, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. The first adaptive athlete just came through because I heard a bunch of cheering, and I was like, oh my God, who's running that fast? But I'm actually sure some people are gonna come through pretty soon with running. These are definitely the first runners flying by. That's awesome. This is definitely the first 10 guys, and it's 7:44, and we are outside of Huntington Place, so I think we're at like mile 8 something, almost 9. First female just flew by. Ellie, I think. So no, the first female's name was not Ellie, it said Elite, because I just saw the second female go by and it said Elite, because I forgot that they have an Elite field this year, because that's something new. These are all your wonderful volunteers with the Gatorade Endurance. Looks like there's some snacks over here, and there's plenty of porta potties here for when you get out of the tunnel, if you've been holding it the whole way. Here's the section of the tunnel where everybody comes around that corner. They're coming from the uphill on the tunnel.
Looking good, looking strong.
And they're coming out to thousands of their biggest fans. These are some of the guys coming back for the end of the half marathon. On one side, everybody's going out, and here these guys are coming back. If you're doing the relay, this is where you hang out and wait for your teammate to come. There are numbers 2, 3.
Go get it, guys. Richard, today's your day, baby.
People have the best signs here. How was Canada? It was awesome. So on the left side is the half marathon runners coming back, and on the other side is the marathon runners going out for way more miles. Look, people, I know you love your dogs. I love my dog too. Do not bring your dog to watch a marathon. Your dog's not having fun just standing there in the cold and like just seeing a bunch of people go by. It's just like overstimulating. And like I just, had to cross, and it was just hard. I had to cross the half marathon and then wait in the middle, and then I had to cross the marathon. And like people had these 2 big dogs like right there on the other side of the crosswalk that are all barking and freaking out at me. Well, guess what? They don't want to be here. And like, this is kind of a situation where that could be really dangerous. It's just like completely inappropriate. Sorry, dog lovers. I love my dog, but I know that my dog would rather be home in bed and not in all like the crazy. So the first lane in front of me is marathon runners. The lane right behind them is the international half, and it says international half, stay right. And then over there across the bridge is both marathon runners and international half marathon runners going out for this section of the course. This is in mile 15 for the marathon runners and mile 11 for the half marathon runners. Go, Crofton! Go, crush it! This is the hardest part. Go, you look great. Go, go, go. Yeah, go 5:30 group. Woo! I love the pacer groups. I've never ran in a pacer group, but whenever I see any of them go by, it's like this whole camaraderie. Everyone's in the group smiling, well, for the most part, but you're in it together, I just saw the 6-hour pace group pass for the marathon. So that was about 5 minutes ago. The rest of these runners here are still doing the marathon or the international half marathon. The time limit for the marathon is 6.5 hours, and the time limit for the international half marathon is 4 hours. The Motor City half marathon, it starts at 10:30, so that limit is actually 3.5 hours, and I sort of suspect it's just so they can open the roads back up again. The other side of the road here is just the international half marathon runners, the people that are going back. They are at about mile 12.5, while the people running on this side coming towards us are at about 9.5. So I was originally going to try to film the place on the course where the international half marathon and marathon split. That's like right around, it's like before mile 11, somewhere around there. But I've done so much walking today, I just couldn't make it over there, and I still want to get over to a couple more places in the finish line. If you see the other videos on my channel, I have been diagnosed with runner's dystonia, which I lost my ability not only to run, but to completely even walk earlier this year. I also had foot surgery 2 months before that, so I've been digging myself out of a deep hole and just being down here, and I've already done, 14,000 steps today. That's a lot for me, but it's really inspiring to see all these people, because I know they're probably hurting more than I am, but I'm taking a little breather here and sitting on the curb before I forge on to the next place to watch the race and get down to the finish line. That right there is 6:30. That is basically the sweeper group for the marathon. I'm sure that the 6:30 pacers are not actually the sweepers, or at least I hope they didn't give them that dual job, because you don't want to be like encouraging someone to finish their marathon in 6 hours and 30 minutes and they'd be like, sorry, that's a DNF. But I'm sure, like other races, it's other people who do the actual sweeping and not your encouraging, lovely pace people.
Run 313!
Plenty of people actually do walk the entire half marathon. You have 4 hours to do it, so you have to walk a pretty decent pace, but it's definitely been done and it's definitely doable. The 6 hour pacer for the marathon was walking when I saw them, but I imagine they probably have to do some sort of walk-run combination to make it for the full marathon in 6 hours. But you get a little more time for the half marathon. A half marathon walking in 4 hours is definitely easier than a full marathon in 6 hours. I'm gonna have to calculate the pace on that, what that would be. For international half marathon runners, once you see Huntington Place coming up again, you take this left turn and then it's only one more left turn to the finish. So the finish line is really crazy, as one would expect. The side that I was filming on is where all the half marathon runners come in, and then on the other side of the cones is where the marathon runners come in. So I maybe only got 1 or 2 in the shot because it's 3 hours since the race started, so there's only a handful of people that are coming through for the marathon already. Really, really good people. And there's still tons and tons of people coming in for the half marathon. So I'm gonna try to get now over to the other side and see some more of the marathon course. You can see over on the other side, that's where the finishers come out in the finisher chute. They all get the Mylar blanket, they get bottles of water, you get your bag full of snacks, and of course you get your medal. But no spectators allowed in the finisher chute.
I know.
So as you can see, the post-race party has already started, probably started a couple hours ago. Lots of finishers, lots of crowds coming this way. All these people are coming out of the finisher chute, but I'm still gonna go try and cut across and get over to the marathon side where they finish. This is where the little medical tent is right after the race that I was talking about earlier. If you have a problem and you finish the race, go and see them first because they'll wheel you over to the main medical tent. The main medical tent is kind of like blocked off. There's like a fence and with that like kind of green canvas over it. You know, they have ambulance and things back there, they have the medical equipment, they have medicine. So just go see the people right at the end of the finish line and they'll help you get to go to the main tent if that is what you need. This is the end of the runner chute where they come out of, so no spectators can go inside there. So a lot of people are waiting for their loved ones or friends to come out of here. And then you can throw away your banana peels and also your Mylar sheets if you really want to, but keep it, you might get cold. This is the very last stretch of the marathon. I also believe that this is where the Motor City US only half marathon also ends, the final stretch. So from here, all you do is you gotta take a right turn and there's your finish line. Woo! Finish strong! Woo! Scott, go! Go, Scott! It's right there! You crushed it! You crushed it! Awesome job! Woo! The 3:25 pacing group just passed and there was only 2 guys left with the pacer, but like they're gonna do it. Yes, it was awesome. They thin out as the race goes on, but wow, that's great. congratulations to those two guys. They did awesome. Woo, yeah, Greg! Go Mahoney! Martin! Sam! Woo! Almost there! Go Thomas! Almost there! Woo! Finish strong, Maddie! Go Art! Woo! Yeah, Greg! Woo! Yeah, 3:30! One of the things I absolutely love about the race bibs is that people can put their own names on them, or they can put funny things or things like that. But it's cool when they just have their name on it, because it's really nice to just know who's running and shout out to them. It really makes the crowd here so much fun. So many people shouted my name last year when I ran, and it like really helped me get through when I was really, really suffering. Nice job, 3:35, you did it! You did it, Schroeder! Yeah, 3:40 pacer group. Nice job. Woo! Yeah, Martina! Go, Martina! Woo! Yeah, girl, crush it! Woo, Carolyn! Woo! Woo! Yeah, 350 pacers, you did it! Yes, Project, go! You're right there. Go, Project, you got it. Go, 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 go!
Stephanie Beebe, Bryson Morris. Nicholas, Sydney, Alexandra, Emma, Christine, Rachel, Trisha, Joe, Sergey, Heather, Laura, Erickson, Mark Gordon, Aaron Erlin, Troy Holman, Christopher Lee.
So although we're at over 4 hours now, we're at 4 hours and about 18 minutes, they were still letting some of the half marathon people cross. Most races do it that way, where it's the cutoff is like from when the last runner leaves the starting corral. If you come here to spectate, find some people that will like shout out names with you. It's so much fun when just absolute strangers, and especially like a group of them, just shout out your name randomly.
Oh, is this the other one?
So this is Concord, the race after party. And there's a couple of different food trucks. As we saw earlier, there's a beer tent. If you're wondering what you get in your like plastic snack bag that you get at the end, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as last year. You get like an apple, a banana, goldfish, graham crackers, I think like a Cliff Bar, a chocolate milk, and probably some other things I can't remember. But when I was really sick at the end of the race, I tried to eat a graham cracker because that was really the only thing that I thought was gonna be good on my stomach. I don't know. Most people's stomach are better than my stomach, I think.
Put your hands together. Another huge time for all of the amazing runners that made it through today. And for all of the people that are about as fast as me that are still out there. They'll be back by 4.
All right, it's 12:38 and hung out with some friends after watching the end of the marathon and the last half marathon runners and walking back to MGM. It's been a long day. Detroit puts on a nice race. It was a really fun race to spectate too. I knew a little bit of what to expect just having been a participant last year, but it was a lot of fun today. I've put in well over 20,000 steps, a lot of standing. I got to see a lot of people running on the course. The tracker was actually much more accurate this year, even though sometimes it still gets a little bit wonky. It was really nice race weather today. I think some people, not me, some people who tend to get hot really fast would think it was almost too hot. But I thought it was great. I would have loved it if I had been running. And as a spectator, it was really nice to not be freezing cold. One thing you have to remember, not right here, of course, in the shot, but there's a lot of buildings in Detroit that just cast the shadows, so it gets even colder when you're standing on the sidewalks watching the race, and also the wind tends to like go through the buildings. So it made it such a nice day to watch a marathon and half marathon. If you're interested in signing up for the races next year, the races go on sale at midnight on New Year's Eve. So that's not too far from now. You got about 2 months to think about it. And it's one of those race registrations where like, that's like, you know, the rock bottom prices. And then, you know, every couple of weeks or months or whatever it is, the price increases a little bit. And this year was the first year that it actually sold out. Like, it's never sold out before. And all the races sold out. Even the 5K sold out. Remember the year before, I signed up for the half marathon just like on a whim, like the day before it closed. So expect that for next year, that the races will sell out. This race series, usually coming from somebody who has had to not show up for races due to various medical issues, is that if you sign up, you can always defer to the next year. You can always change the race that you're doing, and you can always transfer your bib to somebody else. So I was supposed to do the marathon this year, and I couldn't do it. So I, instead of deferring, transferred it to somebody that I knew, who I've met at a marathon before, who really wanted to run it. And so I got to transfer it to her. And all there was there was a transfer fee on her part that she had to pay. And she did awesome today. She did a 4-hour, 15-minute marathon. So I was happy to see that my bib got put to awesome use. So she did great. Unlike a lot of other marathons around the country or in different cities, there's no crazy lottery. If you want to sign up, as long as you sign up early enough, you will get in. There's no crazy like registration where everything sells out like within the hour. And really it's kind of like risk-free. And I had also booked a hotel, and the hotel cancellation goes, I think, right up to the week before the race even, and I canceled it, and I didn't get charged for that either. So I really was not out any money or anything, just a little bit my pride and the jealousy of seeing people run today. But it's just what it had to be this year, and I was glad that I could make somebody else happy, and I had a lot of fun doing the race this way. So I made it back to the MGM parking garage and back to my car. It's been a long day. I got here a little bit before 6 a.m. and it's about 1 o'clock right now. So a good 7 hours on my feet, walking, standing, a little bit of sitting breaks. So I feel a little bit like the runners, but obviously not like the runners because everyone did awesome, and I'm sure they'll be feeling it more than me tonight, but it was all worth it. It was a great race. Thanks for watching my video. If you haven't seen it, I also did a video on the Saturday races here at Detroit Free Press Marathon Weekend, and I look forward to bringing more local Michigan races to you in the future. Until next time.